talk about Kundalini energy rising and like what that means exactly. On an anatomical level, these practices are literally going to start straightening out your spine. So it's literally about it rising in your spine. And I know our spines can get all sorts of little twists and nuances, and if you have this energy that's going straight up it and there's like a block or something, like a kink on your shoulder or something that's pulling, then that Kundalini energy is going to keep hitting that spot. And so that whole like rise of consciousness in a physical level, it's literally rising in your spine. So when we get to the certain placements, so like on your spine, there's the chakras, but there's also just the diaphragms of the body on a physical sense. So if that energy is stuck there, we got to ask ourselves, why did we get into this posture that there's a crook in our spine, at our belly or our heart or our throat? And then we can go deeper there. So this is a practice of not just staying in one plane. It's a multidimensional practice. And so when let's say you identify you have a kink in your belly, and so we take that deeper. What's in the belly? Okay, well, our willpower. And so how come our posture has been, caved in on our willpower? Why are we hiding the light, right? So it's this multidimensional practice, and the Kundalini energy rising, people get like freaked out about it because they have like one little experience in their third eye, but like that's just traffic. Like there's always stuff in the psychic landscape to see or to not see. It doesn't really mean that much though, and like that's where people get stuck. Like I've heard a lot of people say like, oh, I don't want to practice Kundalini because it's not grounded. I don't want to like lose my mind. And it's like, no, okay, it's potent. It's potent. You start coming and you only do 1-2 classes. You just opened your channels a little bit, and you have all this energy that needs to be sort of integrated back into the bodies, and then people quit. They don't go. They want to. And the thing is, it makes you immediately look at your shit. It makes you immediately be face to face with what's uncomfortable in your body, as you having to breathe over and over and over again, and what's uncomfortable with what comes up with that breath. When you have to challenge yourself, you have to do something that's uncomfortable. It makes you have to shift and change. And so the Kundalini energy rising, what is that? It's the primordial energy that's making everything go round, which is in a lot of aspects a feminine energy. Man is created actually from woman. That the birth canal of creation is from the primordial feminine energy. And so Shakti, that's what that is. It's the creative potential that's dormant in all of us. Why it lives at the base of the spine is because the root chakra is our first chakra to develop. This is our base. This is our connection to the root, to the earth, to the feminine. Yes, we're going maybe sometimes up into space to clear our psyche, but that's because our psyches can travel like 8 million miles or something. You can have perception anywhere once it's intended and worked on. So the process of the Kundalini energy rising is a process of healing. It's a process of grounding, essentially. But you have to get through what it brings up. And as that snake-like energy comes up the body, it's called a snake because it moves like a snake. It's not because it's an iconography that's actually like satanic or something. In fact, the church specifically made the snake look bad. These practices were practiced at that time. Jesus literally did these practices. That's why you see him all the time with like his mudras. Okay, so it would be a great service to anyone trying to control civilization to take them away from the fact that they have a dormant power within that heals them, right? You can go inside. You can move your own energy. You can tap into the cosmic creation here right now on Earth if you want, and it will heal your whole body. all of your bodies, your mental body, your physical body, your emotional body. But it takes discipline, and it takes going past the status quo of what we think that these practices are, knowing that these practices have been slandered intentionally. So this is not a practice for anyone that is, let's say, unable or unwilling to do shadow work. Anyone that doesn't want to look at the shadow work of the whole entire collective, we're gonna have to look at that, because you start doing these classes and you see how much truth is in it. And honestly, it's like, why doesn't everybody know this? And then you look at that and you're like, oh, intentionally not everybody knows this. And like, I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist. It's just facts. It's just literally facts. So the Kundalini rising, it's tapping into all that you are, all that we came from. And creative energy creates everything. And so once you realize you can harness that and you can focus it, and you have less distractions in your mind, or you have the ability to come back to center and actually hold this energy, not leak it, not spill it, not explode it, but hold it, then creation moves through you, and not your own mind's ideas. Because our minds are so limited. They have so much conditioning overlaid on the psyche. So this is the tool that pushes through that and brings you to all that you actually are. And so that's the Kundalini energy. It's just you. It's the cosmic potential that made everything. It's not anything made up. Thank you so much, mangrove tree, for this leaf. This that I just pulled from its root has now less life force energy. But it still has atoms and molecules vibrating. It still grew. It still took light from the sun and water and created more and more of itself, allowed more and more of its cells to replicate with that nutrients. We are the leaf that has been torn away from the root. Okay, when we landed here, it was very, very confusing for all of our souls. Why is it so dense here? So the practice is getting us back to our roots. So you're connected to the whole tree. That's way more energy than just floating, right? So it's nothing scary. It's incredibly natural. So I hope this busts some of the maybe fears around Kundalini. And yeah, it's very pure, very potent, but very pure energy when used right. And of course, it has so much potential, and it's the humans that make it weird, not the Kundalini. It's the people that know that it's powerful and use it for the wrong reasons. But we do that in like all sorts of areas, so we should stop. All right, namaste.